This is Just Amazon on Wednesday, April 10th, 2019. Taking a look at today in general, you can really see how clearly this 1841.30 price was working as resistance and then as support just all day. Um, we had, let's see, a couple candles that closed below these two here. I guess this one, maybe that. But we're right here, just riding right through that. These here, um, we didn't get a candle that stayed below, like that had its high below this level. Once we got above it with this candle, so really, just kept bouncing off of 1841.30. We interacted with it some yesterday. We had some hammers off of it, inverted hammer-ish candle here. And then today, we had some more hammers. So let's kind of dive in and take a look at what's going on. Initially, we opened right below. Would have been great if we tagged it and then collapsed. But with the closing candle here on a 5-minute from yesterday, being this strong of a hammer, and it gaps up right into this line, makes sense to sell off, to pull back, right at a key level that, we've been up for so long, people can still be just taking profits, that kind of thing. Didn't really have any clear highs and lows. Some, but it was a little more down, sloping down here. And then the lows were, I guess, maybe at this level, if you ignore this, but there wasn't like a clear, okay, here's all the highs, here's all the lows, some sort of channel pre-market. So, and then you have this really obscure wick down here. So anyway, the open, it just collapsed, very quickly sold down. It's not a huge range on the candle either. It's not like some we've had. Still almost $10. It's a good 5-minute open. Looks like the whole rest of the day is going to be hugely bearish. And then I guess technically we had this candle close below this one, but that was it. We didn't have any more bearish closes down here. We at one point had a bearish candle forming down here. Looks like it was just going to run bearish. That got bought up. That took out the high in this candle. And then let me zoom in on the day. So we know we're kind of at, we're below the low from yesterday down here. We're below this pivot. But as we get into this day today, look what's going on with some of these candles. So you have a big bullish candle, inside pullback. Actually, I think this was a higher high. Yeah, by 5 cents. So this is like a tweezer top almost by 5 cents. And then here you got 1 penny off for tweezer bottoms into a hammer, inverted hammer off the 21. That looks like it's going to roll over right back into these highs. So, okay, that's a good place for it to roll back down. Maybe it'll get back down to the low here or the low here. That'd be a good, probably 2R, maybe a little bit more, something like that with just the shares. So the options, probably not that good, but that either you're buying puts on this candle or you're getting in right on this one as it's going past here. Immediately comes right back into this low, and then the wick down here comes right into the low of this candle, the low of this candle, and the open of this candle, a very clear level here, and then bounces, gives you a nice hammer. And then you get another nice hammerish candle, and then another nice hammerish candle. It's like, okay, these 3 candles alone are telling a story that this is going to go higher. You have a really nice bullish hammer, a candle that makes a higher high and higher low, and then a bullish engulfing candle that essentially has a close higher than this bullish candle's close. And we can't even get back down at this level for even another touch, let alone a close. This is the closest we got with a close. And this one, let's see, the highs are off by 6 cents in this case. So, it was a day where, bulls made a move, bears made an opposing move. Bulls made a move, bears made an opposing move. Like similar size, I was going to say similar size candles, but similar ranges. Obviously, we didn't make it all the way back down here. Similar highs, so bulls were charging higher, and then bears were digging it back down. So, and then we had this candle, which I think was a bullish engulfing. Yeah, another bullish engulfing of this bullish engulfing. Again, a close above the close of the previous bullish candle, above the previous bullish candle. This is 25 minutes of stair stepping here in a range of $4 on the stock. This is one where, as this is setting up and you keep getting these lows down here that we're not getting below, you could be buying these lows down here and a stop down here to be really aggressive. If you don't want to do that, you can draw the triangle, which similarly followed the 21 exponential. So once you're above that, you could be buying or buying a pullback, which didn't get much here, and a stop down here. That's much more conservative. You're not even going to get a one-to-one to this level. You're going to wait for it to push above the high, or want it to, I should say. Maybe take some profits there. So the risk reward just wasn't there to be buying way up here and a stop way down here. So that's why I'm saying, if you had been buying some of these pullbacks, after this hammer, you could have been buying, a wick down here, a wick down here, anything like that, buying a pullback and just being positioned ready for it to bounce. And then it moved up for 20, 25 minutes here. I mean, it made, after 30 minutes, it made another high. But then it just petered out, went sideways, slowly pulled back, touching the line we've got here, a couple more touches. Looks like it's going to roll over, but it's caught by the 21. And it just kept going on like that. It bounced and then pulled back into the 21, back into our line. It bounced. Okay, this one's getting going. You have some really small candles. If that's something you get good at, waiting for these small candles and taking it in the direction of the breakout, I mean, that worked today. It technically did work here had you not moved your stop. So whatever your rules say about moving your stop. And then some small candles here. And this one moved and made a new higher high. So, you can move your stop there, or you can leave it in place, and then it pulled back again. So each time it pulls back, though, you're losing premium on these calls, giving some back or opening yourself to some more risk. So it'd probably be better in these cases where we're having these little spurts of moves up, that you just take some profits on its way up. Take profits on a bullish candle. It's going to introduce additional, which one of the Greeks is it? Additional something. Can't remember which one it is. Anyway, sorry. The one that gets inflated as it's moving in that direction. Just having more premium in it. I don't remember which Greek it is, but I want to say it's Vega, but I'm not sure that that's right. Anyway, pulls back again and then again moves up. So let's look at the calls going from here to here and then going from here to here again to see, what happened over this 2 hours, over this 1 hour to go basically back down, so from noon to 1 and then from 1:20 to 2 o'clock, to see, okay, what happened in the stock or in the option on that. So we're looking at the 1850 calls. We had a price at noon. We're going to call it about $8, right around $8, because you could have been filled at $8 down in here after that. From 8, that ran up to over 10, 1050, something like that, 1025. So maybe 8, call it 8 to 10, being a little bit conservative. But then we quickly pulled back, and by 1:20, we were, and actually, let's see, at 1 o'clock, 1 o'clock we made that high. Okay, that still works. At 1:20, we pulled back down here, same level on the stock, but now we've lost another $50, 30, 40, $50 from this low to this low. And then on our way back up, we didn't have this big, large wick up above, even though, we did have a big wick and we moved right into the same price. We're into the same price. We actually made a higher price here than this wick, but the way the option moved, we didn't get this big wick again. We didn't get a big move up above because this was the breakout. This is where you could have gotten out on a bullish candle, taking some profits and had some more premium baked into those. Didn't happen over here. Some of that premium had been taken out. That $50, 30, 40, $50 was taken out down here on its way back down here below this low. Didn't get put back in case it did go back up. That market makers didn't want to lose as much, if they're dealing with the puts. So anyway, you can just see that really clearly here. It doesn't show up as well on the puts. So I'm looking at the 1825 puts. You can see some of the choppiness, but generally we're going down. If we go to the 1850 puts, so same strike as the calls we were just looking at. Let's see what's going on with these. Now, these have a little lower volume. You can see whenever there's some of those just flat line candles in here. So this doesn't have the volume. And then when we made the high in the stock, made a low here, and then we got below that low here, even though we did make it. Sorry, we did make a higher high, so that makes sense. Let's see. This the highs here. That's where we need to compare. So this high was around 16. This one was only around 15.50. So we lost that 50 cents again to the bear side, going from here. Was it from here to here? And no, coming back into this level. This was your high in the put. This is your high in put. Comparing this high to this high, this one was higher than this one on the puts, right? Yeah, the second one was a lower high. And so that's, you got some of that premium getting taken out as it's moving up, and you just don't get back, and this happens in a similar time frame, to the bullish perspective from here to here, so you really had about an hour and a half went by and you just lost premium on that. That's what I'm just pointing out. So anyway, back to the calls. Let's look at what's going on back down here. So this is between 9:10. We make this hammer. We make another hammer here at 9:20, and then on the 9:30 candle or 9:25 candle, you could see maybe there's a place you could buy. So here's the calls, and all of these, because we're looking at the 1850 and we're out of the money, all of these would have worked to set up 7x6, with like a stop limit, so it's going to trigger as it goes above, but that's right above the highs. 6 is close. I mean, maybe a little bit lower, 575, but that's more than $100 risk. So, I'm suggesting something that would work for the candles here. But that would be a little less aggressive, kind of moderately conservative. And then the ultra conservative would be waiting for like a pullback on this candle to get in. And then the more aggressive would be, hey, look, I'm holding this level. I'm going to buy at 625 off of this low, or 626, 624, 629, this one, 620. Okay, I'm in. I'm pulling back. And maybe I'm not in on this one, but if I'm looking for the lows that are holding, I could be buying at 625 anywhere in here, getting this one to hold. I'm up. Oh no, I'm back down, or you're getting in on this candle. And maybe you have it set up for, again, 625 by 525, or maybe even 6, because you touched this on the $6 price down here, 6 by 5. That would be much cleaner. I like round numbers to do that. Pulled back and then rallied hard. And had you bought at 6, let's just say 650. Let's just say it was 650. You got in up here, 650 by 550, and that's working. So all the way up at 850. You're up 2R and you're getting right into the highs here. You hold on for another R, and that's 9.5. You're exiting at 9.5. You entered at 6.5. That's 3R. Let's see. So what's going on here? So we moved through the level and we moved past the high from the opening candle, and then kept going. So the price we should have been at, had we just set up this line as our target, would have been obviously lower than where we're at. Oops, wrong way. Would have probably been around 9, 875, 9. So you're getting into a trade at 650, getting your target hit at 9 if it gets up there, and you're out. And that's a good move. That's what worked. So as these pulled back, there were some lower lows in here, but there were some opportunities to buy. And just kind of scalp, scalp an R here, scalp an R here. Oh, that one kept going. I was already out. Another pullback here, you're going to scalp, and then that maybe you hold on to that one. Just depends on your rules, how you traded it after getting stopped out on one, going back to the same stock, and whether you're going to stay the same direction, switch directions if you get stepped out because other people will be trapped. Whatever you're thinking through for and planning for the trade, it's it's up to your plan on what you're going to do. But the way that everything is moving here, we just kept pulling back and bouncing. Pull back to this level and bounce. And the challenge was yesterday. There we go. Yesterday, we had some interactions at this level. We got above it here, pulled back. Like I said, I lost a little bit on this rally back up into it. We weren't really, we were just chopping around on this level, and we weren't so much being held by it with support or resistance. Well, that's what happened today. Resistance, neither. Support, 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 And so just based on where this candle is, I would think that we should go and continue up. We are moving up after hours. And, if we can contend with this candle's high, we're talking getting into 1863.84, and it's not that far away. If we do have some more of a pullback, again, 21 is the target. Let's get through the 5. It seems like we've been trying to, and it's just not happening. So, looking for a bigger pullback at some point, but it doesn't have to happen yet. This is a nice 3-day rest sitting right up here on the 5. We don't get a close below the 5. It's still in an uptrend. We've lost our bullish momentum. But, right now things are still looking good, looking strong to continue bullish. And it's a nice hammer candle too. So it'd be nice if we get a gap up, pull back down into it, and then bounce again. And I guess we'll just have to come back tomorrow and see how that goes. So hope you enjoyed this video. This is Justin AMZN.